That was Charlie Puth with Left and Right on Rise and Shine. And as promised, guys, we have a very special interview lined up for you right now. We will be speaking with Her Royal Highness Princess Rym Ali, the president of the Amman International Film Festival, founder of the Jordan Media Institute, and executive commissioner at the Royal Film Commission. Princess Rym, good morning to you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Well, let's just get right into the conversation. The Amman International Film Festival is actually starting tomorrow till the 27th. Can you tell us a little bit about the festival and the purpose behind it?
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. So the festival starts from tomorrow, the 20th to the 27th. And the purpose behind it has always been, the film festival kind of falls in line in a way with the mission of the Royal Film Commission. When my husband, Prince Ali, created the Royal Film Commission, it was really a way of not only, of course, trying to attract films here, but also trying to give a voice to our own filmmakers through the, various trainings and screenings that we were doing and a lot of the workshops that they were receiving at the Film Commission. And so the Film Commission, the particularity of the Amman International Film Festival is it's called Awal film, which means first film, first timer. And so it's really something that is meant to encourage first timers and help them, when they finish their first film, which is obviously a lot of work, where do they go from there? It's something that a lot of first timers are faced with.
Okay.
And we really wanted to give them that forum as well to meet other people and to be able to bounce back after.
That is amazing. I was actually always wondering about the tagline Awal film.
Awal film.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
It's beautiful how supportive Jordan as a whole is, especially with upcoming artists, and especially like this film festival, and supporting these wonderful artists is something that's absolutely brilliant. So we want to ask, since the Amman International Film Festival started during the pandemic, how has it evolved since then?
Thank you. Well, it's. I have to say, I'm quite proud that it was launched during the pandemic. It wasn't it's all an obvious proposition. We'd planned everything before, and then the pandemic came up, and we were ready, and some people cancelled, some other festivals cancelled, but in our case, we felt very strongly that, the effects of the pandemic had been and were going to be so punishing for the creative industries and for these artists. Yeah. So we wanted to do our best to keep the momentum going, especially for those first-timers, having worked so hard to put together their first film. And, for those who had stories to pitch as well, because we offer, sessions for that as well. In the first year, what we couldn't do in person because the airports were still closed, we did online and with a drive-in cinema and the open-air theatre of the Royal Film Commission. Yeah. Last year was better. In the second year, we kept the drive-in. Theatres were allowed half capacity because of COVID restrictions, but nonetheless it moved on at Taj Mahal and the amphitheatre at the RFC. And this finally we're able to have a more kind of normal event. So I felt that with this year has been a year of growth, natural growth for a young festival. We've been able to invite more people. At the same time, the team has felt more at ease. It's a bit like a better oiled machine, if you will. Yeah. But we have, more actors, actresses, film directors who are well known on the international regional stage. I think we have about 100 guests from abroad in the region. All of will give participants, filmmakers, specialists, the larger public as well. It'll be opportunities for them to meet people that we wouldn't meet or they wouldn't meet otherwise. So, we have several Jordanian movies this year. Two of them are long films. There is Farha from Dareen Salam. There is Zaid Abu Hamdan's Daughters of Abdul Rahman. And there's 5 short films that are all first films for the director, each in their categories. So I think it's going to be interesting in that sense. There's always a lot of diversity. It's always interesting to see which direction one film festival goes.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see, looking at the schedule, I'm glad to see things have been opening up here in Jordan because, thank God COVID numbers are going down. But I'm glad to see that you still retained a lot of the drive-in viewings that, we've had in previous festivals. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are happy about that.
Yes, I'm glad you pointed it out because we did have a lot of discussions and I'm also glad we maintained it in the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's become part of the DNA of the festival.
Yeah, and it's a different experience here in Jordan. I personally really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. So that's good to keep in mind for the next year.
Oh, absolutely. So speaking of the DNA of the festival, I wanted to ask, what gives the Amman International Film Festival an edge over other international film festivals, and who is your target audience?
I think what is that precisely, we were talking earlier on, is this, the feature, the Awal film feature. That's our niche, if you will. Mm-hmm. I don't think there are any other festivals in the Arab world that focus on first-timers in this way. And, we do things, as I like to say, Jordanian style. We start small, we build, and we gradually build. We look at quality. And so, this is really, really something that we care about deeply. At the same time, I'm really glad you asked also about the target audience of the festival, because the AIFF Awal Film aims to reach out to everyone. Mm-hmm. It's the festival for movies that are not necessarily elitist, contrary to the perception of some people, because it's very easy to sort of think that, festival films remain a bit elitist, they're just for a group of people and they go from festival to festival. But we believe, on the contrary, that these films are accessible to everybody, to everyone. And those who attend, I think, will notice that the movies selected do cater to quite a wide audience. Not only the movies, but also the sessions for discussions and the panels. Some of them are actually open to a wide audience and to the public as well. So it's not exclusively for professionals. Mm-hmm. And I think just because you have movies that aren't commercial, they're not always movies that are aimed at just a small group of people. It's just that they're quality movies that didn't have the opportunity to be viewed elsewhere.
Yeah, or the marketing support and everything else that comes with it.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't mean that they're not entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think another thing maybe to note, if I may here, is we've decided to bring down the cost of the tickets to 3 JDs at Taj Cinemas and at the Royal Film Commission venue.
Oh, wow.
And for a car at the drive-in for 2 people, it's 10 JDs.
Okay.
And then there's always the possibility to buy a pass for 30 JDs. And of course, the media, as you know, can get free accreditation. Filmmakers can get free accreditation to all the industry events. And as I said, there are panels that are open to the public, including, and that's important to remember, including the talk with Yusri Nasrallah, who's the very famous Egyptian director, and the panel with some of the actors. So I hope that will make people realize that it's really open to all, and not something that's just restricted to a few people who.
Well, there you have it, folks. You heard it here. It is, and I'm glad to hear that pricing wise, not just accessibility, but pricing wise, it's also extremely accessible. Well, Your Royal Highness Princess Rym, we are going to take a short break, but we do have some more questions for you if you don't mind holding on the line with us.
Sure, no problem.
We are continuing our interview with Her Royal Highness Princess Rym Ali, President of the Amman International Film Festival and the founder of the Jordan Media Institute and Executive Commissioner at the Royal Film Commission. Once again, Princess Rym, thank you so much for being with us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
If you don't mind us asking, in your opinion, what has been the impact of the Amman International Film Festival in promoting Jordanian talent to the world and also in attracting international talents to Jordan?
I think it's had quite an impact, and I think we need to bear in mind that when the Royal Film Commission, when my husband Prince Ali created the Royal Film Commission, immediately a lot of people said, "Well, you have to do a film festival," and the reply was initially, "Well, wait, we have to have enough sort of Jordanian films and enough Jordanian films produced on a regular basis, that we can really have a film festival that will then also help, And so from then on, we set about at the Film Commission, they set about working on that. They created the Jordan Film Fund and all, as I said, the workshops, the opportunities for Jordanian filmmakers to actually produce their films. And now that that's happened, there is, definitely that niche that we were talking about for first-timers. I think in terms of impact, it's really helped them because, of course, if you're recognized at home, it really gives you a bit of a trampoline, if you will, or a stepping stone for you to be recognized abroad. And so it's always really good for them to have, and also it's good to test your films on a public at home. And I think it gives them that. And it's wonderful to also be able to be at home and have at home for the time of the festival, for those 7 days, the opportunity to exchange, talk to different filmmakers, pitch your films and projects to people from the international scene as well. So I think it's a very enriching experience for filmmakers. And the filmmakers themselves, as I said, for the past few years, they've been asking for a film festival as well. And I think it's really something helpful to all of them. And it helps put, we've been on the scene, and I think there was a little bit of there's always been when there was often an idea that, does the Royal Film Commission only work for films that come from abroad to film here? No, we work on the contrary, as I said earlier on when my husband created it, is also to make sure that Jordanian voices are heard as storytellers, as filmmakers. And so this is really an opportunity for them with the film festival as a continuation of the work of the Royal Film Commission. It shows how much there's been a plan all the time to really help filmmakers project their voices outside, and this is a great forum for that.
And honestly, you do see that on the ground more and more. We're hearing of, Jordanian talents from all parts of the movie-making industry doing amazing things. So really, there have been large strides when it comes to that. But one follow-up question to that. The film festival that we're having here in Amman is not just limited to Jordanian filmmakers, right? It is for the Arab region as a whole and also international films. So where are most of the entries for this year from?
So no, as you quite rightly point out, we're open to Arab films. It is a film for Arab films, not exclusively for Jordanian films. And it's we have this year 49 movies coming from 29 producing and co-producing countries. Wow. So the Arab movies cover the whole region, really, from Morocco to Somalia, passing by the Levant and the Gulf. But of course, some years you have more movies from here and other years more movies from there. Amongst the Arabs this year, Tunisia is very well represented. They have 4 feature movies that were selected, 3 narratives and 1 documentary. Wow. And there are also 4 feature movies which are Franco-Arab co-productions in the Franco-Arab Rendezvous. And then there's also an international section, by the way, which itself is very diverse, with films from Sweden, Belgium, I think Mexico, Russia, Iran.
Wow.
So it's a diversity that I think also opens us to so many different worlds for the audience as well. But we do like to be, Jordan, again, in the same way that we host workshops for Arab talented filmmakers, in the same way that we host, Jordan is a location for filming for Arab productions. This festival is also for Arab filmmakers and films as well.
Wow, really. And it is a very diverse schedule. I'm looking at it right now, and honestly, I am so excited. Once again, like we said to everyone, it does start tomorrow till the 27th. If you don't mind me asking, any parallel activities that are being planned?
Thank you. Yes, thanks for that question, because it's important. It's not just that we make sure that there's not just the screenings of the films. And, we're not really famous for being a red carpet festival because, we believe that we need to put our effort in making sure that there's quality and, before that. But we try to sort of give a bit of glamour as well, as much as possible. But in terms of parallel activities, which to us, of course, matter a great deal, there's a very rich program, actually. There's the Amman Film Industry Days. And they mainly target film professionals or those who aspire to work in the film industry. So there are workshops that, have experts, there's panels, discussions, and there's also 3 pitching platforms for projects in development or post-production.
Nice.
Wow.
So that's interesting because, people, again, it's an opportunity for young filmmakers to come with their projects, and then these projects can be, taken elsewhere or supported, and there's debates, there's discussions, and they're sort of supported and guided in some ways sometimes. There's one dedicated to Jordanian filmmakers who are working on their first feature film project. Just to give you an idea, we received over 85 projects from all over the world.
Wow.
And out of those 85 projects, we selected 8. And that's really, really for us, I don't want to disappoint anyone, but it is very, for us, almost the essential aim of the festival, maybe more important than the red carpet. But of course, we do try to bring in also as I said, a bit of the glamour.
Yeah.
But because it helps, showcase not just ready-made movies, but it really also supports film in the making. And again, remember, we're all about first-time filmmakers. So, we believe that we have a role in sort of helping them take off.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the approach that you guys are doing for, the more holistic approach to supporting Jordanian filmmakers. You did, though, you mentioned glamour. So that being said, are there any stars coming to Jordan, anyone to look out for? And can you please share with us exactly which hotels they are staying at?
Well, there's one part of the question I can't get into, but one part I can. So the glamour is there, and that is, it's always, a balance, as I said. But again, if we have to choose, for us, it's very important to really work on quality and really supporting the first-time filmmakers. That said, the glamour is there, and we're very, very blessed. You know how they say third time lucky? We've got really a good array of stars that people could look out for. There is Dafir Abedin, a Tunisian actor and director. He was famous in the West, funny enough, before he made his breakthrough in the region. So in the West, he was in Children of Men, Centurion, Black Forest. He was in the TV series The Looming Tower. And in the region, he was in the Tunisian movie Mektoub, and also in the Lebanese series Arous Beirut.
Oh, wow.
So he'll be in Amman to present, and he'll be presenting and discussing his first feature film, Rodois, means tomorrow in North African Arabic. And of course, there's our own award-winning Saba Mbarek. Now, she needs no introductions, of course.
Of course. I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah. She's fantastic. And she's not only a talented actress, who stars in Arab as well as foreign productions, but you know that she's also an extremely competent and ambitious producer. And the movie Banat Abdelrahman, the Jordanian film Banat Abdelrahman, which she co-produced, is one of the films that's in selection this year.
All right, great.
And we have George Khabbaz, who's a Lebanese star who is also a musician and a screenwriter and a playwright. I think you might know him, or your auditors may know him, from the movie Perfect Strangers. That came up, I think it was on Netflix earlier on. Ashraf Barhoum is going to be here. He's played Shakespeare's Coriolanus.
Wow.
He's played in The Clash of the Titans and in The Kingdom alongside Jamie Foxx, but also in several Arab movies like Paradise Now, The Stranger, and he is in the film Farha that's competing at the festival. We have Farah Mseso, she's a very pan-Arab actress, actually, and she's acted in many Syrian TV series. And she was a presenter on the Saudi equivalent of the show The View, that's known as Kalam Nawam, or Kalam Nawam.
Kalam Nawal, yes.
You know that?
Of course.
Yeah. So she's coming. And we have the Lebanese actress Carmen Lebos of West Beirut fame.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to be here. And of course, our own Rakeen Saad, one of our biggest emerging stars. And you probably saw also Rawabi School for Girls.
Yeah.
So she was in there.
I am so starstruck right now. You mentioned a few names that I am particularly a big fan of.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear. And there's also, I'd like to say, we mentioned earlier Yusri Nasrallah.
Yes.
He is really a big star this year for our first and latest section. Where a director comes and talks about their first and latest film. He's Egyptian. He was a director's assistant to Youssef Shaheen. Yeah. And I don't know if you're familiar, but he did a film called Bab al-Shams, Gateway of the Sun, in 2004. And then his last work was his film After the Battle was competed in Cannes, actually, in 2012.
Oh, wow.
His first film was Summer Thefts, and his latest was Brooks, Meadows and Lovely Places in 2016. So we really have a nice array. I really hope that will attract people to come and see, or at least arouse their curiosity.
Well, I think Dana and Sahad, also our social media experts, are both going to be standing in line, and I'll be right there with them.
For sure.
Great. We look forward to seeing you there, and I really, really hope you'll enjoy it, and I hope it'll be a interesting and fun event for everybody.
Inshallah.
Judging by the past times the festival happened, I'm sure it will be an even bigger and greater success. So thank you again for being with us, and good luck with this festival.
It's a pleasure. Thank you both for having me, and again, look forward to seeing you. And we're looking forward to an event like that. So thanks.
Done. Once again, guys, if you'd like to learn more about the Amman International Film Festival, you can go to their website. It's AIFF.jo. Very simple. AIFF.jo. That being said, it's back to the music for us on Rise and Shine.